I'm Ashton Addison from BlockWest Capital for Investment Pitch Media, and today on the Crypto Coin Show we have Kosala Hemachandra, CEO of MyEtherWallet. Kosala, welcome to the show, and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you so much for having me, Ashton. It's amazing to be here.
You're very welcome. Appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule at the NFT NYC conference. I'm curious to know how is it there? You know, despite the market conditions, I feel like there's so many companies innovating in blockchain right now that hopefully it's unfazed.
Yeah, no, I don't think like the price actually affecting anything that's happening over here. There are massive amounts of people coming in. Basically, like Times Square is filled with NFTs. Every single screen that you look at, it's some kind of NFT or like some kind of NFT drop or a QR code, something to do with NFTs, which is amazing. Yeah, and I feel like NFT is also something that is relatable to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So everyone's curious, everyone's trying to get in, everyone's asking, hey, like, how do I do that? How do I do this? What is that? What is that monkey looking NFT? Things like that, you know. It's fun. It's fun to be here.
Amazing. Yeah. And if you were to tell me, you know, 2-3 years ago that all of Times Square would be filled with NFTs, people would probably think you're crazy.
Oh yeah.
I feel like we've come so far in such a short amount of time, and I feel like it's still at the beginning. And you know, I know that you and I have both been around since before NFTs really existed. I would love for you to give some background on, you know, just your story in blockchain and sort of how that led up to MyEtherWallet.
Yeah, for sure. So my story starts with when I was in engineering school. So I got into Bitcoin. I read about Bitcoin during my senior year, and then I realized, oh, this is cool. Like I really fell in love with the software side of things, the architecture and all that. And then around the same time, I read the Ethereum yellow paper, and then I was like, oh, this is so much better than like what I just read about Bitcoin. So I got in. Yeah, I got into Ethereum during Ethereum pre-sale, and ever since then, I basically like kind of like following like development cycles and like what's happening. I followed the testnet, deployed my first smart contract there, and eventually when Ethereum mainnet came out, there was so many people having issues on basically unlocking their wallet or even checking their balances, sending transactions, because it was just command line. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, command line is very scary. And I was able to put together a simple interface. And ever since then, we grew with Ethereum, and then now here we are, MyEtherWallet, which is MyEtherWallet.com and multiple other products under us.
Amazing, and thank you so much for creating that. And you know, even technical people and computer savvy people that aren't programmers are all afraid of command line, because it's very easy to have one semicolon turn into a colon, and all of a sudden all your ether's gone forever.
Oh yeah.
So we do not want that. And you know, I know MyEtherWallet is helping like millions of people store all their assets. Maybe you can talk about the journey of, you know, after you started it. I'm sure there's been iterations as Ethereum's continued to grow and then growing into other blockchains. And now you can connect different networks and stuff as well.
Oh yeah, so definitely. So the 2017, so like we released MyEtherWallet.com in 2015 August, and ever since then we basically like grew with Ethereum. By the way, back in the day, Ethereum was, yes, of course you can send ETH back and forth, and then you can deploy smart contracts, but like nothing was yet solidified about like no ERC20 tokens or like no NFTs for sure. So 2017 ICO boom kind of brought up this like whole ERC20 token concept, and it became a huge thing. And until to this date, everyone knows, oh, ERC20, oh, we know that's a token, right? So like that's where we are at like Ethereum. So MyEtherWallet was like basically the only gateway back in the day that if you wanted to get into one of these ICOs, or if you wanted to buy any of the tokens, that was the only way. And after that, like 2018 January, I believe, when the ERC721 token came out, and then CryptoKitties, everyone was really happy or like really enthusiastic about CryptoKitties. And then they also worked on the ERC 721 standard, which later on now everyone knows as NFTs. And yeah, and then CryptoKitties came, that wave went down, and then I was like, oh, okay, at some point this will become a big thing. And I believe that that's the point where we are right now. And yeah, we added NFT support to MyEtherWallet as well. So you can, if whatever the NFTs or like all the NFTs that you have across all EVM chains, so that includes Polygon, Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and sorry if I'm like not remembering all the EVM chains right now, but yeah, across all the EVM chains, all the NFTs that you have, that's something we display in your wallet. And at the same time, as MyEtherWallet, we wanted to get into NFTs as well. So we were like, okay, as like leading original Ethereum wallet interface, what can we do to represent who we are and what Ethereum is? And then that's when basically we released our first NFT collection, which is called ETH blocks. So any block that maybe could be like the block that included your first Ethereum transaction, or maybe it's like maybe when it was when the day of your baby was born, things like that. So people were really creative about like which blocks they want to mint, and yeah, they were able to mint like it was always amazing to see like what concepts they come up with to mint these blocks. Like for example, the first tweet NFT that was minted was included in a block, and then someone minted that block. So, and it's a generative art piece type of thing. But it was our way of getting into Ethereum. I mean, getting like representing Ethereum as an NFT, which basically created all the NFTs. So yeah, it's amazing. We did it last year, and we had a ton of people, really good feedback as well.
Super cool. And yeah, in any way you can sort of add more functionality into a wallet and make it like a one-stop shop, I feel like adds a lot of value for the existing user base.
Oh yeah, for sure. So our goal is to be the nexus point in transacting in Ethereum. So any Ethereum action that you can accomplish you should be able to accomplish using like myetherwallet.com or one of our products. Like we have our blockchain explorer, which is ethvm.com, and mobile apps as well. So, and then we also have the education wing if you want to learn more about, if you're like newcomer to either NFTs or blockchain or even like Ethereum, you can use mutopia.com to check that out as well.
I feel like a lot of new people that come in this space, they start using MyEtherWallet, but they also are seeing apps like these CeFi apps and DeFi apps and putting their coins into those platforms, and for example in Celsius, and to get yields on them, and then realizing that they're not able to withdraw. In the case of Celsius recently, people's funds are in there for some, there's no amount of time. If they may never get them back, hopefully they turn back on withdrawals and they are able to get them back. But from what I understand, if you're holding your coins in MyEtherWallet specifically, there's no yields that can be made, but you're the only one who has your keys. Is that correct?
Yes. So yes and yes to multiple things, because yes, we highly believe in non-custodial wallets. So we want to make sure what decentralization is. So decentralization is not like using a centralized authority. So that means you have to own your own keys. So if someone else has your wallet, access to your wallet, then that means someone else is controlling your keys. So that's a centralized like party that's controlling your funds, your keys, your wallet, even your NFTs if you have them stored in a centralized company. And that means, yes, you are vulnerable to anything that happens to the company, any hacks that happens to the company, or like however they manage your funds. So we want to make sure all of our wallets are non-custodial, but that means you have to do some extra steps if you want to earn yield. So our goal is to make it as simple as much as possible. So if you're, for example, using either like our Android app or our website, you can earn yield by staking by yourself, right? You can use our MyEtherWallet.com website, go and stake on the Ethereum POS chain, and then earn yield from that. Or you can use the Android wallet to earn yield through like Yearn wallet, for example, and you can stake through, like, for example, Scale Chain. You can stake that. So we give you all the tools that are necessary to accomplish all these tasks, and which means you as the person or the user is responsible to learn about those tools and then invest your funds to earn a return.
That's good to know. And
yeah.
You mentioned there the Android app, and I know that you can also access MyEtherWallet from the website. Is the security and the protection of users' information the same if accessing through both, or is there a way that they're recommended to safely access their funds?
So the main reason that we decided, okay, we have to have mobile apps is like mainly, if you look at the global population, most of the users have mobile phones than actual computers. So it's not possible for them to all like have computers or like even buy a hardware wallet, right? So it's like the accessibility plays a huge role in this space. For example, if the hardware wallet costs $180 or somewhere around, like, it's every single good hardware wallet is like over $100. So that means that person should be able to afford $100 worth of like a $100 hardware wallet, and at the same time also own a computer. So that's a big gap. And then at the same time, we realized most of the modern smartphones has this secure enclave, which is identical to a hardware wallet. Like everything happens in that secure enclave is isolated from rest of the operating system. So, and then we can use that to store secure information. Like that's what like for example, Android and Apple use to save your like credit card information, your biometrics to unlock your phone, and all that. So our what we were thinking is like, okay, if it's secure enough to store that kind of information, it's definitely secure enough to store a private key for your wallet. And then just to be more secure, we like double encrypt it. So even if like your secure enclave for whatever reason hasn't been done yet in anywhere in the world, get hacked, they still need the PIN code or the password that you put in to have access to the wallet itself. So like, yeah, security is like one of the highest priorities in this industry, and then we follow it as to the maximum as much as possible.
Yeah, that's good to know, and I feel like you always have to be on top of it, because hackers are always trying to find new ways to crack the system. And you know, I saw recently in the iOS there was some story of somebody's private keys was automatically backed up into their iCloud, and somehow they were phished through their iCloud, and that accessed their app. I'm curious, you mentioned Android app, but is there also an iOS app? And I'm guessing that's not a problem for you guys, if so?
Yeah, there's definitely both Android and iOS app, and then we do not believe in uploading to iCloud. It's not an option. So only way to access your wallet is using the app itself. So just in case if you lose, let's say you lose your phone, you can always have to write down the mnemonic phrase like any other wallet. Even for a hardware wallet, you can use a mnemonic phrase to restore it. So that's why we don't believe in, oh, why do we have to upload to iCloud? The moment you upload to another centralized party, that means you are introducing these new attack vectors. So it's not something that we believe in, and then I don't think we will ever implement that kind of feature in our app.
Good to know. And let's just jump back over to the growth of Ethereum. There was quite a few updates that were amazing last year with the EIP 1559 burn that started making Ethereum more deflationary. I know you have a lot more information on where Ethereum is at right now and where they're going than I do, and I'd love to hear your insights about this year and in the coming summer months here. There's supposed to be a merge, and eventually Ethereum's moving to the proof of stake, which has been delayed many times. And as with all blockchain development, it's pretty normal. But Do you have insight on where exactly Ethereum's at and how you're following it with your team?
Yeah, so Ethereum is definitely on its track to completely move to POS this year. So there's one last hard fork coming up that'll delay. In Ethereum, we have this thing called time bomb. Nothing to worry about it. It's not an actual bomb, but it's supposed to. It's a way of making sure all the Ethereum clients will eventually move to POS, but it was initially set to 2 years from Ethereum mainnet release, but as we all know, the POS did not happen in 2 weeks after 2015 August. So 2 years after 2015 August, and then it kept getting postponed and postponed and postponed because of like the development delays and like all the other stuff. And it's getting delayed one last time actually next week. And it's only getting delayed by a couple of months. So by Q4, the current estimate is by Q4 of this year, Ethereum mainnet will be completely switched to POS. That means there won't be any mining rewards. Yes, like just like how EIP 1559 helped us and made it like more deflationary. This will make it even more deflationary because right now we are paying both miners and the validators at the same time, and then the mining rewards will completely disappear. At the same time, because there are no miners, we don't have to use as much energy. So like the energy consumption of Ethereum blockchain will go down by like 99% or something, and even like a little small computer will be able to do the validation process with POS. So it's a big step. It's a huge step that was promised in the yellow paper and like at the beginning of Ethereum launch. So finally we are achieving that. And then once we achieve that step, everything else is pure like advancements to the space. So I'm really excited for this year. Yeah, so it's going to be amazing.
That's great to hear that it's finally coming. And you know, we've been waiting for quite a while, and I'm interested to see how it all plays out and how the price action as well reflects, you know, in Ether as it happens. And you know, I was just seeing some talk about how Ethereum's price right now is below where it was at the all-time high 5 years ago, but now there's NFTs, there's DeFi, there's you know, just the bigger communities, higher wallets, everything, and yet it seems like it's quite a good deal right now to be getting it in retrospect. So I'm looking forward to seeing what will happen. And now I'm curious because I don't know exactly how there's a lot of debate back and forth of the Bitcoin proof of work maxis that really like how proof of work secures the Bitcoin network, and then how people prefer proof of stake and the energy consumptions of it, and then actually making the transition in midair. You know, they say like if Ethereum is a jumbo jet, we're going to take out the engine and put in you know, a battery in midair while it's flying, and hopefully the plane doesn't crash. So we'll see. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. But barring the energy consumption side of it, with the deflationary nature of not having to give out mining rewards, there's still the, you know, you mentioned at the beginning about like staking your Ether to get for the proof of stake. So there will still be rewards coming from that, and is that coming out of the you know, out of newly circulated Ether?
Yeah, it is. It'll be newly minted Ether, but it'll be different from the current form because, like, we released Beacon Chain, like, I believe a year ago or so. So right now, all the validators are getting newly minted Ether, and then at the same time, all the miners are getting newly minted Ether. So it's like it's giving out a lot of Ether right now. So like the mining side of things will go away. But yeah, some of the people are still like, oh no, now only the wealth can. Or people who are wealthy can mine or like in a way like stake Ether, because like you need at least 32 ETH, and then 32 ETH is, even if it's like ETH is $1,000, that's $32,000. Not that everyone can afford that. I disagree with those people, because there are other protocols like Lido and Stakewise is trying to bring create like these pools to stake. So you can right now stake with any amount. Even if you have 0.001 ETH, you can convert that to either SETH or like ST ETH, I believe, and then start earning like 4% interest on it. And I mean, that's something that like for your wallet. If you have even like 0.1 ETH, you should like earn interest on it while you have it. And then at the same time, there's no lock-in period, there's no unstaking period. The moment that you want to make it liquid, you can just convert it back to ETH and then get it out. So yeah, there are these like other developments that will make it so that everyone can participate in this staking process rather than just the wealthy.
And is there any advantage to people who have like 1 million Ether and they're staking versus somebody who has 32 Ether? Or is it just level playing field?
So, I mean, yes, because like the person who with like 1 million Ether, they can create million divided by 32 number of validators. And then the person who has the 32 ETH only can create one validator, meaning even though the chances of each validator being picked is equal, but like the chances for that person with like 1 million ETH getting picked is more than the person just has one validator. But over time, the interest rate that they all gain will be the same based on the amount that they put in. I think at the end of the day, that's how like even like if you look at a bank, right, like the centralized exchange or like anything, that's how it works. The more you put in, the more you get out. But there's no special advantage over someone with 1 million ETH.
Okay, good to know. And I know it's probably complicated to explain, you know, the entire differences in proof of work and proof of stake, but you know, with proof of work, you do have to purchase hardware and put in some kind of computational work to be rewarded with the Bitcoin. And with staking, you really just have to do one click, and your Ether is locked into the contract. Where does the inherent value that we see in the proof of work of Bitcoin sort of translate into securing the network with Ethereum by staking the Ether?
Couple of ways, because like when you stake, you're basically locking in that funds. So that means like right now people locked in, I didn't check the last time, but like a lot of ETH locked in for staking process. And then at the same time, they want to make sure that network is valid, because if like, for example, a bad staker tried to input invalid transaction or try to withdraw like funds from somewhere, they'll get this slashing process will happen. So that means the amount of the ETH that they put in, like the 32, will get slashed by a certain amount. So like they are not incentivized to do bad things. So which means everyone is more incentivized to do good things so they can earn more interest. So that's the way of staking works. Only difference with Ethereum is that like staking already exists with like a lot of other chains, but like the difference with Ethereum is that it's not limited to a certain number of people. Like I mentioned, even if you have 0.1 ETH, you can just use one of the protocols that I mentioned before and then stake that and then earn interest on that. Versus like there are a lot of other blockchains out there that says, oh no, you have to do this, you have to have this much. It's like, and then you still have a computer that runs like all the time. So it's a very complicated process to stake on those chains. So this is also why I love Ethereum so much. Just like how Ethereum introduced smart contracts or logic to blockchain. Before that, it was just Bitcoin clones, right? Like all you can do is transfer values back and forth. And then Ethereum came on board, and Ethereum was like, oh, no, we can do much more. We can use blockchain for a lot more things than just sending value, and introduce smart contracts. Now everyone's, in a way, copying the smart contract capability and then trying to add that to their chain. So this is exactly what's going to happen after Ethereum goes to POS, proof of stake. Everyone will start copying that, and then add that to the blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 100% sure that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure they'll do it a lot faster. You know, that all that Ethereum did all the hard work, spent years doing it. They'll just like copy, clone, boom, proof of stake. We've all implemented it the next day.
Yeah,
you know, the
exactly.
part about open source software is it's easy to copy. You know, just like Uniswap and all of these other decentralized exchanges made it way easier for them to just make a clone of it.
Yeah.
But you know, the original still remains the leader and has the network effect. So
exactly.
Yeah. Now, with all of these updates happening, is there anything that MyEtherWallet has to do or is preparing for to sort of move along with the growth of Ethereum and the transition?
Yeah, so MyEtherWallet itself, like MyEtherWallet.com or any of our Android app, doesn't have to worry about anything because the transition will be very seamless. Basically from a user perspective, no one has to even know about this transition because everything is supposed to be seamless and very straightforward. But like for our Ethereum.com, which is our blockchain explorer, we have to recode or reconfigure some of the architecture and infrastructure to support this new transition, support like the proof of stake mechanism and all that. So we are almost done with it. So we're willing to test it out. And then the good news is Ropsten, for those who are not familiar with Ropsten, which is the testnet for Ethereum, that's where all the testing happens. It's completely transition to proof of stake already. So and it's running. So that's like, and the next step is to transition all the other testnets as well. There's like Gurley, Kowan, and all these other ones. And then once that's done, final step will be mainnet transition. So we're looking forward for it. And then, our devs are working, like ETHVM devs are working hard to make sure like the Ethereum.com transition will go smoothly as well.
Amazing. Looking forward to it. And great to hear that the testnet is already moved over. Thank you for all these insights, Kosala, about just where Ethereum's going. There's so many people that want to stay in the loop and don't really have time to read the yellow paper and technical updates. And, you know, and thank you.
Thank you so much.
Where can people follow more of your work and MyEtherWallet as well?
Yeah, so main way of getting in touch with us is by either like replying to or contacting us through Twitter at MyEtherWallet. Make sure you see the verified sign, or you can always write to us with support@myetherwallet.com as well. So I would say those two are the best ways to contact us, or like keep in touch with us. So just follow us at MyEtherWallet on Twitter, and then we usually put all the updates over there.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Kosala. All the best with everything with MyEtherWallet, and let's follow up in the near future.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Ashton. It was great.